What is going on, my Super Sandwiches? Romster here, and today I'm joined by Quaman and Dragon Ball Nation, and today specifically we're going to be discussing Quaman's favorite transformation, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, but fusions.
Worst name ever.
Worst name. Well, technically it's not the real name. It's just the name that's kind of given to the form because no one really labeled it. So for the rest of this video, we're going to refer to it as either the Blue Super Saiyan God or pure Super Saiyan God, True Super Saiyan God. One of those. But specifically, what we're going to be discussing is a fusion between these guys possible now? If let's say they would go, Gogeta or even Vegito, if they even first one needed it, would both of these characters fuse? With this new power? And at the end of the video, I'm actually going to reveal something that's said at the end of the movie. It's not a huge spoiler, but again, if you want to miss everything in regards to what happens in this movie, then go ahead and skip the very last part. But we're going to reveal that later. For now, we're going to actually have this quick discussion. If Goku and Vegeta would actually ever, number one, need to fuse, and two, actually ever use the fusion technique, whether it's Vegeta or Gogeta. So how about we start with Dragon Ball Nation? What are your thoughts on that?
As far as I'm using it, I mean, fusion is something that is incredibly powerful. A lot of people actually underestimate fusion in Dragon Ball, but it's something that's insanely powerful, both forms of fusion, in fact. And, I mean, for them to actually have to use that and, not have the fight they are introduced into be a cakewalk, I mean, the villain or whoever they confront will have to be insanely powerful, something we haven't even seen close to in the realm of Dragon Ball, because fusion is just such a potent ability and technique. I mean, Goten and Trunks, whose powers vary greatly, depending on what source you look at. Some people say that they're around First Form Frieza, some go for, Android 18, but, they went from, around that area, past Majin Buu with just the fusion. I mean, it's such a potent method, and if they use Gogeta per se in this new, blue-haired, true or pure Super Saiyan form, whatever you want to call it, I mean, it'd be overkill for whoever I could imagine them fighting, really, unless it's someone insanely powerful. What do you guys think?
Something I was going to point out is part of their training, and again, this is not really a big spoiler, so don't worry about anything major being mentioned. One of the things that's mentioned during the training is Whis wants Goku and Vegeta to kind of learn to fight together because they both have weaknesses. They're both about equally strong right now, but they both have weaknesses that kind of are the downfall of their losses in fights. So the reason why Vegeta loses, the reason why Goku loses is because of these weaknesses. But if they're to fight together, they're literally an invincible couple. Or not really a couple, but a team. And it's kind of hinted that they should do stuff like fusions and fight close together to get the point across in battles. And that's kind of what they're expected to do against Frieza. But again, I'm not going to go into details on that. So I just want to kind of toss that out there that they're supposed to be working as a team. But Kwame, what do you think about the possibilities of fusions?
Well, this is a very good question because, I mean, if you really think about it, Dino, and same goes for you, Josh, I mean, if they were to fuse, now, we all had this old debate about, Super Saiyan 4 versus the pure Super Saiyan God transformation, and which one is stronger. And, I mean, if you look at the fact that in GT, canon or not canon, the fact that they were able to go Super Saiyan 4 and fuse into that form and defeat Omega Shenron, you gotta think that if in two separate universes that this Super Saiyan, this pure Super Saiyan God transformation is stronger, that would mean that they would be at a power that is so insanely high that it would be immeasurable. I mean, if you really think about it, number one, I mean, considering the fact that, it's kind of hard to measure a god's ki, how would they match each other's power level? Let's say Goku's slightly stronger than Vegeta. Like, how would he drop his power level to match it? You know what I mean? But like, all of these factors taken into consideration.
Something to actually kind of point out. It's hinted that they're in the same power level now. They're essentially the same strength.
But I'm saying if there's like a slight difference, because you remember you have to be exact. Like, it would be hard to measure. And I'm just saying, like, I agree with Josh.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
If they were to encounter a villain that would require them to fuse, I think that would really be interesting for the series. But then again, Josh, I mean, I'm sorry, then again, Dino, if you really think about it, like I was saying with the previous video we did, this could also be hinting at a potential movie series if you think about it, because a lot of times in Dragon Ball we've kind of seen, hints that other characters might get on roles, whereas in the last movie for Battle of Gods, Vegeta was saying, oh, Kakarot, next time I get to go Super Saiyan God, and then we know how this movie turns out. So Vegeta got a much bigger role. And I think that if we look at it from that perspective, that could also be hinting that they might be forced to fuse in another movie. But I just can't see what villain, I mean, except for maybe Beerus, if he, you know, goes apeshit, would cause them to want to fuse, unless they encounter another god of destruction from another timeline, or I'm sorry, from another universe. But that's all I can think about. Like, I can't see any villain that could be written to be that strong.
Now, something I want to point out is going off of what happened in the Buu saga when they both decided to not use Potara. They both said that, you know, true Saiyans fight alone. And because of that, just because of their pride and because, you know, they're all about getting stronger and testing out their abilities, I don't think they would ever fuse. I mean, I was surprised they even fused into Vegito during the Buu saga against the fight against Super Buu. But honestly, I don't think they would, first of all, how strong they are. They will never do it just because of pride. And B, I just don't think, you know, they're ever even going to need it. Even though, I don't know. I guess it depends on who they were to fight. I guess if a god was to cross over into their universe and just start destroying everything, they might have no choice. But at the same time, I feel like it'll still be a pretty tough decision for that to actually happen. Now, what I want to ask everybody that's watching this video is, do you think a Super Saiyan God, or Blue Super Saiyan God, True Super Saiyan God, Pure Super Saiyan God, what do you want to call it? We're not going to call it by the imaginary name that it was given to this form. Do you think that we could see a Gogeta or Vegeta like this? Like, let us know in the comment section below. But right now, what I'm about to reveal, and make sure you pause the video and drop your comment right now, because what I'm about to reveal is something that's revealed at the end of the movie. And again, it's not a big spoiler, but in case you want to keep it fresh, then don't keep watching this. Just leave your comment saying, you know, if this transformation or this fusion is possible. But at the end of the video, I mean, at the end of the movie, after I said, you know, Whis kind of wants Goku and Vegeta to fight together, Goku says to Vegeta, you guys ready for this? Goku says to Vegeta, maybe next time we should fight together. We should fight, you know, learn to fight together and just be more a team rather than, you know, take turns fighting. To which Vegeta kind of laughs and says, no, never happens. And then Goku then agrees that, you know what, we're never going to have to do that. So because of how that's even set up, I feel like a fusion will never happen in the future, no matter what happens. I feel like they're going to find some crazy way to defeat whatever opponent they're facing off against, whether it's, you know, Goku, Vegeta, even Beerus and Whis jumping and doing one gigantic blast to defeat the villain that they're fighting, or what. But I just don't think that fusions will ever happen again. And on top of that, Toriyama's been unexpected lately, very unexpected, and he knows that we're all expecting a fusion to happen eventually. But because we all expect that, I feel like it's not going to happen. So that's another fact to kind of throw out there. So I personally don't think we'll ever see fusions ever again. And just like how he kind of wrote out Super Saiyan 2 and 3, he's kind of writing out the idea of fusion ever happening again in the future. So that's how I feel about it. So what do you guys think about that before we end the video?
Well, I have a question for you, Dino. In terms of fusion, does that mean that Piccolo will be able to fuse with another Namek and become a Super Saiyan, I'm sorry, a Super Namekian god?
Well, no, because Piccolo actually is Piccolo is, even though he kept up with the Z Fighters, he is definitely not keeping up with the Z Fighters anymore. And to show you, this is probably gonna make you mad, but you know what Toriyama does to Piccolo in this movie? And again, this is kind of small spoiler, but I guess if you're watching this point, you're okay with spoilers. The main role that Piccolo has in Fukatsu no F, Resurrection of Frieza, is rocking Pan's cradle in the beginning of the movie. That's all. Like, he's the one that's kind of watching and keeping the legacy going, or watching someone's kid. He is watching Pan's, or he's watching Pan while Goku, I mean not Goku, but Gohan and Videl are out doing whatever. So that's what the great Namekian, that's known as Piccolo, has been reduced to. How do you feel about that?
Oh, how the great have fallen.
It's actually hilarious. Like, when that's one of my favorite parts of the movie, just because it's so funny. Like, of course he's watching Pan. But yeah, so Dragon Ball Nation, do you have any final words?
I just want to say this, as far as fusion, if they were ever presented to somehow fight Whis and they fused, it wouldn't even be a challenge for them to beat him, in my opinion.
Yeah,
considering how powerful fusion is.
Yeah, I feel like the power dips will be massive, and it's just the easy way out, really. But we all love to hear your opinion, so if you enjoyed today's video, leave a like rating below, as well as a question, comment, feedback, anything in the comment section below, and we'll take it from there. But other than that, check out both Dragon Ball Nation and Kwame linked in the description below. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you guys in the comment section below. Peace!